Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear viewers, today we will talk about a man in the history of Egypt, an evil man who was even more tyrannical and cruel than Pharaoh himself. Because of this wicked man, Pharaoh could not believe in the oneness of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala. As a result, Pharaoh died as a disbeliever and a polytheist and entered the hellfire forever. Most people know that Pharaoh was one of the most evil rulers in Egyptian history. He claimed to be God and mercilessly killed the Muslims of Bani Israel. But do you know, behind Pharaoh's claim of divinity, his massacre of the Muslims of Bani Israel, and his denial of the oneness of Allah, Tabarak wa Ta'ala, there was one person who played the biggest role. This man is mentioned by Allah, Tabarak wa Ta'ala, in the Noble Quran by the name of Haman. Dear viewers, in today's video, we will tell you who Haman really was, Pharaoh's closest friend and his most trusted minister. We will also share how Pharaoh and Haman met, and how Haman helped Pharaoh in his cruel acts against the Muslims of Bani Israel. Beloved friends, before we continue, if you are new to our channel, don't forget to subscribe. Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has mentioned Haman in 6 different places in the Noble Quran. According to scholars of Tafsir, Haman was a title given to the ministers of Egypt. Just as every king in Egypt was called Pharaoh, every minister was called Haman. In some narrations, it is mentioned that Haman was not just a title, but the actual name of the man who was the minister of the Pharaoh during the time of Prophet Musa alayhi salam. This is the same Haman whom Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has mentioned in the Noble Quran. Dear viewers, Haman was originally a common resident of Egypt. His first meeting with Pharaoh happened when Pharaoh left his place in search of work. At one point during his journey, Pharaoh met Haman. This meeting quickly turned into a close friendship. And in this way, both of these wicked men became best friends and lifelong partners in evil. Pharaoh was the man who claimed to be God and tortured the people of Bani Israel endlessly. To guide him, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala sent Prophet Musa alayhi salam as a messenger. And to support Prophet Musa alayhi salam in this mission, his own brother Prophet Harun alayhi salam was also granted prophethood. It is said that the name of Pharaoh's father was Masab, and his grandfather's name was Malik Rayyan. Some say Pharaoh's full name was Masab bin Walid bin Rayyan, and he lived for 400 years. During this long life, he never fell sick, not even a headache, and no enemy was ever able to defeat him. He was called Pharaoh because he ruled over Egypt, and all the kings of Egypt were known by this title. Another reason for this title was his claim of divinity. He used to say to people, "Bow down to me, I am your God." Whoever refused to bow, he would have them killed. Because of this arrogance, Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala afflicted him with trials. But when he still didn't repent, he was destroyed. It is mentioned that Pharaoh was born in the city of Balkh. From there, he set out on a journey for sightseeing, and eventually reached a city called Bashkana. There, he met a man named Haman, who was a resident of that city. Haman asked him, "Who are you? Where have you come from? And where are you going?" Pharaoh told him his name and said, "I'm traveling just for the sake of exploring." Haman replied, "Then let me join you. I will also travel with you and enjoy the journey." So both of these wicked men continued their journey together and eventually reached Egypt. At that time, it was the season of melons. Due to hunger, they both entered a field and asked the melon farmer for something to eat. The owner said, "I will give you food, but on one condition. You must take my melons to the city and sell them. In return, I will give you something to eat as your wage." So Pharaoh left Haman behind and loaded bags full of melons onto donkeys and began walking toward the city. When he reached the city gate, the guard standing there stopped him and asked, "What's in these bags?" Pharaoh replied, "These are melons." The guard then said, "Leave some melons here and you can go." Pharaoh answered, "These belong to my master. He gave them to me to sell, and I am his servant. I cannot give anything away for free without his permission." The guard warned, "If you don't leave some here, you will not be allowed to enter the city at all." Pharaoh had no other choice. So he gave the guard a few melons as a bribe and was allowed to enter. Inside the city, things were no different. As soon as he went in, soldiers patrolling the marketplace stopped him. They asked him about himself and his goods. When Pharaoh explained, they did the same thing the gate guard had done. They demanded some melons too. With what remained, he began looking for a suitable place to sell the melons. But no shopkeeper would allow him to sit in front of their shop without giving something in return. So once again, Pharaoh gave away some melons and sat in front of a shop to sell the rest. The shopkeeper said to him, "People here quickly buy fruits, vegetables, and other things, but they don't pay with money. If someone has goods, they will trade with you. They will give you the same amount of goods in return for yours. No money will be exchanged." He continued, "Even if your goods are worth more, you will only get equal value in return. This is how trade works in our city." So Pharaoh traded all the melons for different items and then returned to the field. He gave everything he had earned to the field owner, returned the donkeys and said, "I didn't like this work." Then he walked back toward the city and submitted a petition to the king of Egypt. He said, "I'm a poor stranger. Please allow me to stay in this city." Some people said that when he saw the condition of the city, instead of going back, he decided to stay. He made his home in a graveyard. After just a few days, some people came to dig a grave. Pharaoh told them, "I am the caretaker of this graveyard. If you want to dig a grave here, you must give me a gold coin. Only then will I allow you to dig." The people were shocked and said, "How is this possible? Just a few days ago there was no such rule." Pharaoh replied, "From now on, this is how it will be. I am the graveyard's caretaker. Without my permission, you cannot dig graves or bury anyone unless you pay me a gold